All right, so this is the recap video this week for my option trades, mostly selling options with Questrade. So I've got a gross profit for this week of $896 US, so very happy with that. Sadly, I have commissions of $176. So I'm left with a net profit for the week of $720 US, which can't complain, pretty good. Probably one of my best weeks since I started logging my trades. Now, like I mentioned in many of my videos, but if it's the first time you're watching my videos, why do I accept to pay these high commissions with Questrade? Well, the reason being, first of all, my only other choice is Interactive Brokers, but it's way too complicated for me to use. The interface is not that user-friendly for me. Most of these trades I place from my phone, and the phone app for Interactive Brokers isn't that good at all. So I spent about $176 this week on commissions. How much would I have spent if I were with Interactive Brokers? I basically would have saved on that flat fee of $5 every time I open and close a trade. So I've got a total of 14 trades. So 5 to enter, 5 to exit. So that's $10 per trade. So that's $140. So I would have saved about $140 if I were with Interactive Brokers. So we could say that we would add $140 to the $720 of net profit. So about $860. Would have made $860 if I were with Interactive Brokers. Hopefully Tastyworks comes to Canada, and I'm definitely going to be considering switching if they have all the required accounts. I think they're going to be $1 per contract. So Questrade is 75 cents a contract, but you have to pay that initial $5 flat fee, which is annoying. So Tastyworks I think will be $1 a contract, and it's going to be free to close. So I can close trades without paying commissions, which is very, very important. So that's proof that they actually encourage closing option trades. Not a good idea to just let it run to expiry. All right, so let's go through my trades. So this was open Tuesday, November 24th. So it was open the week before. It was an earnings trade on John Deere. It wasn't able to close. It wasn't profitable enough. But this week I was able to close it. It had an expiry of December 11th. So I closed it a week in advance. I closed it for 45 cents. So a little bit more than 50%. So that's a net profit of $42. And then I had a I had a naked put on Corsair. That was actually given to me by a subscriber. I went ahead and did the trade because I saw that it dropped a lot, and it's just $30. So it's not a big risk. Doesn't take a lot of capital out of me. Collected $1.75. Had a December 18 expiry. And I think the next day I was able to close it for 85 cents. So I took it almost 50%. Why not? $90. Actually, net profit is $78. So I took that, of course, in one day. I don't have to wait until December 18th to make the full profit. And then Fedex was an older trade, November 10th. This one I held for a bit. I had opened it for $1. I was able to close it this week for 46 cents. So that gives me a net profit of $41. I've Zoom. Okay, so Zoom put. This was a naked put on Zoom. So at 370. So took a lot of capital, about $6,000, and this was before earnings. So Zoom was trading at 470 before earnings. Decided to sell the 370. I was able to collect $2.10. It's kind of risky, but that's why I went with naked, so I could go far. But then Zoom fell the next day almost to 400, so that kind of scared me. So I decided to get out of the trade for $2. So I got out of the trade for break even because I didn't. My plan initially was to roll it. If I got breached, I would roll the naked put because it's easy to roll puts. You can even roll the strikes down, and you can keep rolling for a credit while you wait for the stock to come back up above your strike. But I was worried about Zoom. What if it drops to 300? I started getting negative thoughts. What if it drops to 300 and then doesn't come back up? People realize the true value and it just stays there. Then I'm stuck with a naked put at a 370 or a 350 strike. And it's taken away my buying power because as the stock drops, your buying power for that stock increases, for that naked put increases. So I just couldn't handle the stress. So I decided to close it, but right away I opened a put spread on Zoom instead. So I opened a put spread at 390, 385. So the 390 strike is less safe than the 370 strike. But because I've got that 385 long put, I was less stressed because I have protection. I collected $1 out of it, and then I was able to close it on Thursday for 30 cents. So as if I had played a put spread. I normally play put spreads before earnings. So it's as if I had played a put spread on Zoom, but I got an even better entry because I got to go to the 390 strike because I got my entry after the stock dropped. But if I had done a put spread on Zoom before earnings, I would have gone at a 420 strike. So I felt like it was a better entry, even if it's not as good as the naked put, but the naked put just scared me. At least this one, it's harder to roll a put spread, of course, but at least it's capped by the long put. So I collected $1, closed it for 30 cents. So I still made profit on it, $57. I also had a CRM. I opened November 30th at a 220, 215. This, I believe, was an earnings trade. Yeah, it was an earnings trade. I opened this before earnings, collected 93 cents, and I think I closed it the next day. I closed it for 45 cents, so 50%. Gives me a profit of $35. Stupid commissions. Zoom I just talked about. So Snowflake. This is an interesting one, actually. I think it deserves... I'm going to log into Questrade for that one. All right, so look at the first line at the bottom here. So December 11th, Snowflake dropped a lot. It wasn't earnings yet. The next day wasn't earnings, but it dropped a lot. So I felt like it was a good entry to do a put spread. So for earnings, I always do put spreads no matter what. I don't try to guess direction. So I just always do put spreads, but out of the money. So it gives me room for the stock to drop and I could still win on the trade. And I do put spreads just because I've realized that put spreads win more often than call spreads. Because I knew that I was going to do a put spread on earnings for Snowflake and I saw that it dropped a lot, I felt like it would be a good entry to do it earlier, one day earlier when it dropped on Wednesday. But then, or was it Tuesday? I don't remember. I got in December 1st, so that was Tuesday. But then so I got in at 270, 265. But then the next day, Snowflake dropped even more. So the day before earnings, it dropped even more again. So my 270, 265 wasn't that good of an entry. So what I ended up doing is I ended up rolling it to January. This spread here, 270, 265, I rolled it to January 15 and I rolled it down. So I was able to roll it down because I was not breached yet. So I went from the 270, 265 strike. I rolled it down to 250, 245 to January 15, and I rolled it for a credit of 1 cent. So I collected $1.05 the first time. I collected a cent just by rolling it to January, in case the stock dropped after earnings. Well, at least I have until January to wait for Snowflake to recover above my short strike, which is now 250. So I think that was a very safe trade. So but I still wanted to play Snowflake's earnings. So I opened a new trade December 2nd, right before earnings at 2:55 p.m. I went at the 260, 255. So I went 10 points lower than my initial put spread because I didn't feel it was safe because Snowflake had dropped even more that day. So now my new put spread on Snowflake is at 260, 255. I collected $1 from it. Now, after hours, Snowflake dropped to 270. So it was trading at around 290 before earnings. And after earnings, it dropped to 270. Even lower, actually. I think it dropped to 268. But then pre-market, the next day, it just skyrocketed. And it kept going higher and higher. It was just ridiculous. So that put spread that I played at 260, 255, I was able to close it for 12 cents. So I collected $1. I was able to close it for 12 cents. And remember my January put spread that I rolled? Obviously, looking back, I probably didn't have to roll it, but I don't know what's going to happen after earnings. But because the stock kept moving higher and higher, that January put spread, I was able to close it for 39 cents. So I collected $1.05, 1 penny, and I was able to close it for 39 cents. So I had 2 put spreads on Snowflake, different expiries. I was able to close them after earnings just because of the crazy run that Snowflake take here. Let's look at the chart for Snowflake. So you see, before earnings it was trading at 290. Now this doesn't show after hours, but you can see the next day 330, 336, and then on Friday 385. It just really took off. So yeah, so this one here, Snowflake put spread 260, 255. That's the December 4th. Close it for 12 cents, giving me a decent profit of $75 net profit. And then DocuSign, I opened it before earnings, 195, but I also closed it before earnings. I closed it for more than 50%, so I didn't feel like I had to go through the earnings reaction. So I just closed it, 42 profit. If I had kept it, DocuSign also went up. I would have closed it for much less. I would have made more profit on it. So CrowdStrike, exact same thing as Snowflake, exact same scenario. I had initially a put spread on CrowdStrike at 133. Then it kept falling, so I decided to roll it to January to the 130 strike, and I collected, I believe, 11 cents. So yeah, initially my put spread was 95 cents, and then I collected 11 cents for rolling it to January, and I lowered the strike. So that had a January 15 expire, but then I played another one for the December 4th expiry. So the same week expiry, 129, 124 put spread. I collected $1.04, but then CrowdStrike jumped after earnings. So I was able to close it the next day for 5 cents. And the January 15 one, I was able to close it for 57 cents. Probably could have waited, close it for a better price, but I wanted to get out of this trade because this trade was just me trying to recover from the other put spread. So I still came out with a profit, so I didn't care about that. What I cared about was this one here, because this was my intention. This was the put spread that I was playing for earnings. So this was profitable, and this was also profitable. So this was $36 net profit. And the other one here, the one I closed for 5 cents, was $86 net profit. So pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Also played this stock. I don't even know what it is, but it had earnings. 210, 205 put spread. Opened it for $1. And I actually took the December 18 expiry because it was the only expiry where I could get $1 premium. And I closed it the next day for 29 cents. So not bad. $58 profit. And then I played another naked put on Corsair again. So this one was closed. And then Corsair dropped again on Wednesday. So I like to sell put spreads or naked puts on red days because it gives me a better chance for my short strike not to be reached. So I sold a naked put again on Corsair, 30 strike, same expiry, and actually same amount as well. Got in at $1.75 again, and this time closed it for 93 cents. So the first time I closed it for 85 cents, second time I closed it for 93 cents. So that's another $70 profit, net profit on Corsair. CrowdStrike we talked about. So Unity Software, I opened this on Wednesday, went at the 120, 115 strike, collected $1.05, had a December 18 expiry. So it expires in 3 weeks. I was able to close it Friday, so 2 days later. I didn't have to wait till 2 weeks. So I was only able to close it for 47 cents. So I didn't make the full profit, but I made a little bit more than 50% of the profit. But I also saved on 2 weeks. It had 2 weeks to go. I closed it after 2 days. So I think that's a good trade-off. And I collected $45 net profit. And Snowflake, yeah, we talked about. So yeah, so these were my trades this week. Total net of $719. So let's look at what if I had done 2 contracts just for fun. As you can see, I only do 1 contract just to play it safe because you never know what happens. So let's see what happens if I had done 2 contracts, which I can afford. My account size can afford, but sometimes my risk tolerance does not handle it. I get stressed. But just for fun, let's just see if I had done 2 contracts, what it would have given me. So 2 contracts would have given me $15.78 for the week net profit. So pretty good. And we could remove from that if I was with Interactive Brokers, for example, then let's add an extra $140. And just for fun again, what if I did 5 contracts? Because I think that would be the max that I would ever do. So 5 contracts would have given me, if I do the exact same trades, but 5 contracts would have given me a net profit of $4,000 for the week. So pretty good. It's sad because my account size can't afford this, so I could have done it. It's just my stress wouldn't handle it. But it's nice to know what's possible. I always like to see what's possible. All right, so these were my trades for the week. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Like always, if you can open an account with Questrade to trade on the stock market and sell options, use my referral link below to get $50 in free trades. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button, share with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.